There is a quiet drift woven into the fabric of the universe, a slow, patient motion, as if galaxies themselves are leaning towards something hidden beyond the edge of everything we can see. Astronomers call it dark flow, but to the night sky, it feels more like a gentle current, guiding clusters of stars across an ocean of silence. If you listen closely, you can almost imagine the universe breathing, and with each breath, the galaxies glide a little farther toward an unknown shore. Welcome to AstraFlow. Here science drifts like starlight and curiosity becomes calm. Tonight, let your thoughts slow down, your breathing find its rhythm, and your mind float through wonder. Before we begin, I'd love to know where you're listening from. Are you lying in bed under city lights, or watching the stars from somewhere quiet? Tell me in the comments. It's always peaceful to imagine the AstraFlow community scattered across the world, drifting together through the same sky. And if this calm journey brings you peace, you can gently support AstraFlow by liking this video or subscribing. It helps this little corner of the cosmos keep glowing. Now, let's begin tonight's voyage into the quiet story of dark flow and the strange possibility that our entire universe might be moving towards something unknown. Dark flow is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is the softest hint of motion, measured across billions of light years, like watching a feather drift on a breeze you cannot feel. Scientists didn't expect it. In fact, every model of the cosmos said the opposite, that galaxies should expand outward in all directions with no preferred path, no hidden tug. But then, faint patterns appeared in ancient light, whispering that vast clusters of galaxies were slipping toward one distant region of the sky. Not fast, not urgently, just steadily, as though responding to a call from beyond the horizon. For you, settling beneath the dim glow of your room, this mystery becomes a gentle doorway. You don't need to solve it. Simply let it be a soft companion to your drifting thoughts. Imagine galaxies, each containing hundreds of billions of stars, moving together in a shared direction, their motion subtle, almost shy, yet undeniably real. A quiet unity on the grander scale. As your breath smooths out and your eyelids soften, picture that flow extending outward, beyond everything we know. Beyond all maps, beyond all light, something is there. Or perhaps it isn't a something at all, but a memory of the universe's earliest moments still echoing through time. Wherever you are tonight, let the stillness of that cosmic motion gather around you. The universe drifts, and you drift with it. When we think of motion, we imagine familiar things. A wave rolling toward the shore, wind slipping through the leaves, or the gentle rise and fall of your breath as you settle into rest. But in the vastness of the cosmos, motion becomes something stranger, quieter, and far more difficult to grasp. What does it mean for the universe, a space so immense it defines everything we can ever know, to move? If every star, every planet, every distant cluster floats within space, then what could space itself be drifting toward? This question rests at the heart of dark flow, and like many cosmic riddles, it doesn't demand an answer from you tonight. Instead, it invites you to pause, breathe, and imagine. Imagine that beyond the blanket of stars above you, beyond even the farthest galaxies, there are currents, gentle, ancient currents, guiding matter through the darkness. These currents aren't winds or tides in any traditional sense. They are patterns in the structure of space-time itself, a quiet preference for direction in a universe that was supposed to have none. As you lie there, let the question soften rather than sharpen. Let it feel like a thought that drifts instead of pushes. Scientists once believed the cosmos expanded uniformly, the same in every direction, like a perfectly smooth exhale. Yet dark flow suggests a subtle tilt, as though some enormous hand cupped beneath the universe gives it the slightest nudge. This motion is faint, nearly imperceptible, but persistent, the kind of whisper you notice only when the world grows very still. You can picture it like a flock of birds gliding across the dusk sky. From far away, their motion appears effortless, almost coordinated. But on a cosmic scale, the galaxies are not following one another. They are responding to something deeper, something woven into the earliest threads of reality. And so the question returns. If the universe is moving, what is it moving through? There is no need to decide. Let uncertainty wash over you like warm night air. The beauty of cosmic questions is that they allow room for wonder. They remind us that the universe is vast, ancient, and still full of mysteries that stretch far beyond human sight. Tonight, that mystery can be a calming presence, a reminder that not everything requires understanding to bring peace. So breathe slowly. Let your thoughts expand and drift. The universe moves in ways we can barely detect, and you, in your quiet moment, move with it. Gently, effortlessly, toward a deeper calm. Dark flow is one of those cosmic mysteries that feels both immense and strangely gentle. Like discovering that the ocean you've lived beside all your life has a hidden tide running beneath its surface. Scientists first noticed it while studying the oldest light in the universe, the cosmic microwave background, a soft afterglow from when the cosmos was only a newborn. Within that ancient light, faint temperature patterns revealed that entire clusters of galaxies seemed to be drifting in the same direction, as though they were being guided by an unseen current, not rushing, not falling, simply gliding. Tonight, you don't need to hold on to the complex mathematics or the physics wrapped around this idea. Instead, imagine something simple. Picture a vast field of lanterns floating on a dark, silent lake. If all lanterns drift just slightly toward one side, you'd wonder what stirs the water. Dark flow is like that. A subtle motion detected not by watching the galaxies directly, but by noticing what their movement does to the light around them, bending it, tinting it, whispering that something lies beyond our cosmic shore. What makes dark flow so intriguing is that it shouldn't exist at all. According to our best understanding, the universe expands uniformly, like a balloon inflating evenly in every direction. There is no preferred way for galaxies to slide across space, yet the data hints at a pull, a quiet, steady tug, coming from a region of the universe we cannot see, a region beyond the horizon set by the speed of light, beyond our cosmic reach. As you rest, let that notion feel soothing rather than confusing. Humanity has always gazed at horizons, both earthly and cosmic, feeling the gentle ache of wanting to know what lies beyond. Dark flow is simply another horizon, one painted in temperature maps and galaxy surveys instead of sunsets. Some scientists believe this mysterious motion could be caused by structures so massive and ancient that their light hasn't reached us yet. Others think it may point to something more exotic, remnants from before the Big Bang, or influence from a region of space outside our observable universe. But none of these ideas need to be solved tonight. For now, let the possibilities float like soft stars around you. Dark flow becomes a reminder that even the universe has secrets it keeps quietly. There are currents we can sense but not see, directions written into the fabric of space long before our world formed. And though the mystery remains unsolved, it brings with it a calm truth. Not everything must be known to be meaningful. Sometimes mystery itself is a gentle companion. Breathe in, breathe out, let the unknown comfort you. The story of dark flow truly begins with a simple intention. Astronomers wanted to measure how galaxy clusters moved across the sky. They expected randomness, a cosmic scatter, with no preferred direction. Instead, they uncovered something unexpected. Something so subtle that it almost seemed like an illusion. A faint, steady drift, as if thousands of galaxies were gliding together toward a single patch of sky. The discovery was not dramatic. It wasn't a moment of sudden realization. It was more like noticing that the tiniest leaf on a still pond is moving, even though no wind touches the water. This drift appeared in the data collected from galaxy clusters scattered across billions of light years. Scientists used a technique called the kinematic Sunyaev-Zeldovich effect, a way of detecting small temperature shifts in the cosmic microwave background light that passes through clusters. These shifts revealed motion, and when the motion was mapped, a pattern emerged. A slow but coherent slide, a gentle cosmic lean. Imagine lying beneath a night sky and watching every star, every galaxy slowly drifting toward the same horizon. The movement is too subtle for your eyes, but the instruments humanity has built, telescopes listening to ancient light, can feel it. They sense the faint push, the gentle pull. As you rest now, picture the moment researchers stared at those early maps, puzzled. The universe wasn't supposed to have a cosmic tide. There was no known force that could push entire clusters in one coordinated stream. Yet the numbers aligned, repeating themselves like a soft refrain. Even with different tools, different methods, the same drift appeared again and again. For a moment, let your mind float with those clusters. Imagine galaxies as quiet travellers, gliding across unimaginable distances, their motion so slight that it takes billions of years to notice. They don't hurry, they don't resist. They simply move, as if responding to a call from beyond the limits of cosmic sight. This discovery didn't solve anything. In fact, it opened more questions than answers. What lay in the direction of this drift? Was something pulling them? Or were they carried along by an ancient pattern left over from the earliest moments of the universe? The questions deepened, and the mystery grew richer. As you breathe in and out, let the drift feel gentle, steady, almost meditative. A reminder that motion permeates everything. Galaxies, oceans, thoughts. The cosmos rarely shouts, it whispers. And dark flow is one of its quietest, most persistent whispers, urging us to look deeper into the fabric of what we call reality. Tonight, there is no need to chase the answer. Just let the mystery drift with you, softly, towards sleep. To understand dark flow, astronomers turn to one of the quietest relics of the cosmos, the cosmic microwave background, the soft afterglow left behind from when the universe was only 380,000 years old. This ancient light fills all of space like a warm, silent fog, carrying within it faint variations that act as a memory of the early universe. But it does something else too. It reveals movement. When galaxy clusters drift through this ancient glow, they leave delicate fingerprints behind, tiny changes in temperature that whisper the direction of their journey. Imagine that the entire universe is wrapped in a thin, glowing mist. As galaxies move through it, they stir the mist ever so lightly, not enough for human senses, but enough for exquisitely sensitive instruments to detect a shift, a slight warming or cooling where the glow interacts with the moving cluster. These gentle fluctuations become a map of motion, a tapestry of cosmic drift drawn in hues of millikelvin. As you sink deeper into relaxation, picture astronomers studying this map the way one might study ripples on a still lake at dawn. The surface appears calm, almost perfectly uniform, yet beneath that calm lies a record of every movement that has brushed against it. And there, hidden among the faint textures, is the signature of dark flow. Clusters of galaxies all shifting the pattern in the same direction, like an invisible current moving beneath the water. The beauty of the cosmic microwave background is that it is both ancient and delicate. Its variations are incredibly subtle, yet they hold the power to reveal motions taking place across billions of light years. This makes it not just a scientific tool, but almost a form of cosmic poetry, a quiet reminder that the universe keeps memories far older than any star, For a moment, let yourself imagine drifting through that ancient light. It is not bright. It is not harsh. It is a warm, dusky glow surrounding your senses, softly humming with the story of the universe's beginnings. You move through it gently, and it shifts around you, leaving a faint trail behind. This is what galaxies experience as they glide through space, their journeys written into the background light as softly as breath fogging a window. By reading these faint imprints, scientists began to trace the flow, not through visible motion, but through the way the universe's oldest light responds. And slowly a picture emerged, a direction, a drift, a quiet but unmistakable tug guiding galaxy clusters toward the unknown. You don't need to solve the mystery tonight. You only need to let the image settle. Galaxies drifting through ancient light, leaving gentle marks that reveal the softest currents of the cosmos. Breathe and drift with them. Across the vast expanse of the universe, galaxy clusters travel like enormous, silent voyagers. Each cluster is a congregation of hundreds or even thousands of galaxies, bound together by gravity, drifting as one through the dark ocean of space. To the human eye, they appear frozen, distant islands of light suspended in blackness. But in truth, they are always on the move, gliding through the cosmic sea with a patience far beyond human timescales. Tonight, imagine drifting with them. Picture a cluster as vast as a continent, filled with swirling stars, nebulae, and quiet worlds, all moving together in a shared direction. This motion is not rushed. It is so slow that even over millions of years the change is barely noticeable. But across billions of years, the galaxies shift their positions as gently as clouds shifting across a twilight sky. Dark flow enters the story here. When astronomers noticed that many of these clusters were drifting toward the same region of the sky, it was as though a hidden tide was guiding them, a tide with no visible source. If you imagine the universe as a vast ocean, then these clusters are ships following a current we cannot see, moving not because of a visible force, but because something in the fabric of space-time leans them in that direction. Let yourself float with that imagery. A galaxy cluster doesn't feel the motion. It simply moves, carried by rhythms older than stars. The hundreds of billions of suns within it continue their own quiet burn, unaware that their entire home is slipping across the cosmic void. And within some of those stars, perhaps worlds exist, maybe barren, maybe alive, each drifting through space on a journey they will never sense. As you breathe slowly, imagine the silent grandeur of this movement. There is no wind, no sound, no push or pull you could recognize, only the gentle, steady drift of matter across unimaginable distances, a drift woven into the nature of the cosmos itself. Astronomers see this motion not through direct observation, but through careful measurements, subtle patterns, and the faintest hints left in ancient light. To them, galaxy clusters are markers, like lanterns floating downstream. By watching how they move, scientists try to understand the unseen current beneath them. The clusters don't hurry, they don't question, they simply exist and flow. And in their serene motion, there's a kind of comfort, a reminder that not all journeys need direction, and not all movement needs intention. Tonight, let yourself drift with those silent voyagers. Let their calm, ancient motion guide your thoughts into softer rhythms. In a universe filled with unseen tides, you too can float gently, peacefully toward rest. Measuring the motion of galaxy clusters is unlike measuring anything on Earth. There are no landmarks, no fixed backgrounds, no ropes to stretch across cosmic distances. Instead, astronomers must read the universe the way one might read the faintest ripple on a still lake, quietly, patiently, and with instruments sensitive enough to detect changes far smaller than a whisper. When scientists study dark flow, They're essentially trying to measure how structures larger than anything we can imagine move across distances so vast that even light takes billions of years to cross them. Imagine watching a cloud drift across a mountain range from 1,000 kilometers away. The movement would be so small, so slow, that the eye alone could never perceive it. Now imagine trying to measure that movement when the cloud itself is made of galaxies, and the mountain range is the fabric of space-time. That is the challenge scientists face. And yet, through the careful analysis of ancient light, they managed to trace these motions with remarkable precision. As you settle deeper into your pillow, picture the method. Astronomers use minute temperature shifts in the cosmic microwave background. Changes so slight they are measured in millionths of a degree. These tiny variations reveal whether a galaxy cluster is moving toward us or away from us, shifting the frequency of the background light like a soft cosmic Doppler effect. Each measurement is like placing a finger gently on the surface of the universe and feeling for the faintest vibration. Over time, thousands of these measurements form a pattern, and within that pattern lies the surprise. The clusters aren't moving randomly. Instead, they drift in a shared direction, like petals carried along by a slow current. This is dark flow, a directional motion stretched across billions of light years, revealed only through the combined whispers of countless temperature readings. Let your breath fall into a gentle rhythm as you imagine the delicacy of this work. Scientists spend years filtering noise, refining data, and checking every possible explanation. The cosmos does not offer its secrets easily. Yet through patience and quiet focus, these subtle motions come into view. It is a reminder that even the largest forces often reveal themselves through the smallest signs. For a moment, picture yourself standing at the edge of a calm lake at dusk. The water looks still, but if you watch long enough, you'll see a leaf begin to glide, moved by a current hidden beneath the surface. The movement is slow, almost imperceptible, but real. This is what astronomers observe across the universe: a subtle drift, a gentle push, a hidden flow guiding galaxies through space. You do not need to grasp the mathematics behind it. Just let the image settle. The universe moves softly and slowly, and we, in our quiet moments, drift along with it. According to our best understanding of cosmology, dark flow shouldn't be there at all. The universe, as described by the Standard Model, expands smoothly in every direction. No region of space should have the power to pull thousands of galaxy clusters toward it. No hidden current should exist beneath the cosmic expansion. Everything should drift outward uniformly, like dots on the surface of an inflating balloon. And yet the data whispers otherwise. Imagine sitting on that balloon, watching the dots spread apart. You wouldn't expect any cluster of dots to slide sideways or lean toward one particular direction. But with dark flow, it's as if some of those dots are gently gliding toward a point beyond your view. Not because the balloon is misshapen, and not because the dots themselves choose to move, but because something outside the balloon is nudging them. This is the puzzle that confounds astrophysicists. As you settle deeper into your breath, let this idea float softly in your mind. Dark flow breaks the rules, or at least the rules as we currently understand them. Every simulation of the universe, every model of cosmic evolution, predicts randomness in these motions. Galaxy clusters should wander, but their wandering should balance out. No preferred direction, no cosmic bias, but the drift persists, faint, steady, unexplainable by ordinary physics. This is why the concept is so intriguing. It hints that either something enormous lies beyond our observable universe, or that our understanding of space itself is incomplete. Both possibilities are vast, humbling, and strangely soothing in their mystery. Take another slow breath. Let your shoulders soften. Some scientists propose that dark flow could be an illusion, a trick of the data, a misinterpretation of ancient light. But the signal has shown up in multiple surveys, using different techniques, like an echo heard from more than one direction. Not loud, not insistent, simply present. Others suggest that the universe may not be as uniform as we assume. Perhaps the early universe contained structures so large, so ancient, that their influence still echoes through space today. Or maybe, before the Big Bang as we know it, the cosmos existed in another form, leaving behind currents woven into the fabric of space-time. These ideas are bold, speculative, yet they offer gentle pathways for wonder. Tonight, let the impossibility itself be calming. The universe doesn't always behave predictably, and that unpredictability creates room for imagination. Dark flow shouldn't exist, and yet it does, quietly breaking symmetry, softly redefining our place within the cosmos. Let that quiet contradiction help you drift, held by the mystery, not troubled by it. When astronomers first realized that dark flow might point towards something outside the observable universe, the idea felt almost unreal, like sensing a presence behind a closed door, knowing it's there, but never being able to open the door to see. The observable universe is limited not by distance itself, but by time. Light has had only 13.8 billion years to reach us, and anything beyond that horizon lies forever hidden, its signals still travelling toward us through the dark. Yet dark flow hints that something beyond this cosmic boundary might still touch our universe, not with light, but with gravity. As you relax deeper into the quiet of the moment, imagine the universe as a softly glowing sphere. Everything we can see is inside that sphere, illuminated by light that has finally arrived after billions of years of travel. Beyond its surface stretches an expanse of darkness we cannot know, a silence older than our stars. And in that unseen darkness, something might exist, something large enough, heavy enough, ancient enough to draw entire galaxy clusters toward it. Some scientists call this idea the gravitational pull of the unobservable. It doesn't require new physics, only the possibility that the universe is bigger than the part we can detect, much bigger, perhaps infinite. If the regions beyond our cosmic horizon contain enormous structures, vast superclusters, titanic walls of matter, or unimaginable concentrations of mass, their gravity could extend into our visible universe, tugging at galaxies like a tide touching the edge of a distant shore. Let yourself imagine that tide, not forceful, not urgent, just a gentle, persistent pull, guiding galaxies toward an unseen coast. The clusters don't know what draws them. They simply drift, following the contours of a landscape we cannot map. But there's another possibility, one even quieter, more profound. Perhaps what lies beyond the observable universe isn't matter at all, but an imprint from the earliest moments of existence. Something formed in the first flashes after the Big Bang, before the universe inflated and stretched out. A kind of fossilized motion, a direction woven into the cosmic fabric long before galaxies existed. As you breathe slowly, notice how comforting the unknown can become when you let go of the need to define it. Darkness beyond the horizon does not have to be frightening. It can be spacious, open, full of possibilities. A reminder that the universe is always more than what we can see. Whether dark flow points to invisible structures, forgotten origins, or something stranger still, its message is simple. The cosmos extends far beyond our boundaries, and in its vastness, there's room for endless wonder. Tonight, let that expansiveness soothe you. Let the thought of hidden worlds and unseen landscapes become a soft place for your mind to rest, drifting gently towards sleep. The edge of the observable universe is not a wall. It is simply a limit, a boundary defined by time rather than distance. Light has been travelling toward us since the birth of the cosmos, and the farthest light that has had time to reach Earth draws a soft circle around everything we can ever witness. This circle is our observable sky. Beyond it lies a vastness we can only imagine, a darkness not empty but unseen, where the universe continues without end or perhaps bends into shapes we cannot yet comprehend. As you settle deeper into your pillow, imagine standing at the shore of a calm, boundless ocean at night. The water stretches so far you cannot tell where it ends. You can only see as far as the moonlight allows. Beyond that glow lies more ocean, silent, infinite, and out of reach. The observable universe is like that small circle of moonlit water. Dark flow suggests that something in the unlit distance may be creating tides that gently touch the waters we can see. Astronomers describe this boundary as the cosmic horizon. Not sharp, not rigid, but a limit imposed by the speed of light itself. Anything beyond that horizon is hidden not by obstacles, but by time. Its light has not arrived yet. Its story has not reached us. And yet, even without light, gravity can extend across unimaginable distances. A mass far outside our horizon could still tug at galaxy clusters within it, leaving a faint signature in their motion, a soft pull from a place we can never observe directly. Let your breath become slow and even as you picture this horizon. It is not a door to be opened or crossed. It is simply a reminder that perspective is limited, that our cosmic view is a small window cut from a much larger tapestry. And in that unobserved region, something might exist that influences us without revealing itself, a presence without an image, a cause without a visible source. For scientists, this idea is equal parts thrilling and humbling. It means the universe may be far larger than we imagined. It means the structures beyond our horizon could dwarf anything we call large within it. And it means that what we see, galaxies, stars, clusters, may be only a fraction of a much greater landscape. For you, resting in the quiet of your room, it becomes something gentler, a reminder that what is unseen can still be peaceful, still be beautiful, still be part of a larger harmony. You don't need to picture what lies beyond. You only need to imagine the soft gradient between the known and the unknown fading into darkness like the edge of a dream. Dark flow invites us to consider that the universe is not only vast but interconnected, shaped by forces both visible and invisible. Forces that remind us how small we are, and yet how deeply we belong to the cosmic whole. Let that thought cradle you. A horizon not of limits, but of wonder. Long before galaxies formed, before stars ignited, before even atoms existed, the universe was a hot, dense, swirling field of energy. In those first fractions of a second, space expanded at a pace so rapid it defies imagination, a sudden stretching we call cosmic inflation. During this brief, powerful moment, tiny fluctuations in energy were blown across the universe, becoming the seeds of everything that would eventually form galaxies, clusters, the vast cosmic web. And deep within these early fluctuations, some scientists believe, may lie the ancient imprint that later became dark flow. As you relax into the quiet around you, imagine those primordial ripples. They were impossibly small, like grains of dust floating in blinding light. Yet inflation magnified them, spreading them across distances larger than the observable universe. If some regions of that early cosmos were slightly different, denser, lighter, warmer, cooler, those differences could have been stretched so far that their influence now lies beyond our cosmic horizon, and still, their imprint might remain. It's soothing to picture the early universe not as chaos, but as a soft, glowing haze, filled with gentle variations that shaped everything that followed. These variations were the universe's first memories. They guided matter, steered motion, and created subtle preferences in direction, long before galaxies were born to follow them. Dark flow might be one of those preferences, a faint echo from the earliest moments still tugging on galaxy clusters billions of years later. Not a force acting in the present, but a direction set in the deep past like a river's course carved long before water ever flowed through it. Take a slow breath. Let your mind drift back to that early haze. It was quiet in its own way, not silent, but full of potential. Energy moved, space stretched, patterns emerged, then froze into the structure of reality. If a large region of the pre-inflation universe was denser than the rest, its gravitational pull could still be felt today, even if that region now lies far beyond what we can see. Its influence would be subtle, steady, and patient, just like dark flow. Some scientists describe this as primordial momentum, a direction inherited from the birth of the cosmos itself. Others imagine massive structures that existed before inflation enlarged the universe, now forever hidden from view. Whatever the truth may be, the idea is calming in its enormity. The universe carries memories, and those memories shape its journey. As you breathe out, feel the comfort in that thought. Just as galaxies drift along ancient paths, so do we follow quiet patterns in our own lives, shaped by moments long past, yet still guiding us gently through the present. Tonight, let those ancient imprints cradle you, the way the early universe shaped its stars. One of the more grounded explanations for dark flow is also one of the most awe-inspiring. The idea that something unimaginably massive lies beyond the edge of what we can observe. Not a single galaxy, not even a cluster, but a structure so enormous that it bends the paths of galaxy clusters across billions of light years. In our visible universe, the largest known formations, cosmic walls, filaments, and superclusters, already stretch across hundreds of millions of light years, yet dark flow hints at something larger still, something too distant for its light to have reached us, but close enough for its gravity to whisper across the void. As you ease deeper into rest, imagine this unseen structure not as a harsh or frightening presence, but as a quiet weight in the darkness, a gentle anchor tugging faintly on the cosmic sea. If you picture the universe as a vast field of lanterns floating in the night, this hidden mass would be a heavy shape just beyond the horizon, drawing the lanterns ever so slightly toward it. The lanterns can't see what pulls them. They only drift in its direction, moving in unison with a calm they never question. Scientists have given voice to many possibilities. Perhaps there is a supercluster, a conglomeration of matter larger than anything within our visible universe, exerting a slow gravitational pull. Or maybe there is a vast region where matter is unevenly distributed, a greater symmetry stretching across the darkness, too distant for us to ever map. Some even propose that the structure could be a relic from the pre-inflation era, frozen in place when the universe expanded faster than light. Let your breath fall into a slow, steady rhythm as you imagine these possibilities. You don't need to picture precise shapes or details. Just imagine an unseen presence, distant and patient, shaping the motions of galaxies the way the moon shapes tides on Earth. Its influence is gentle, persistent, and woven seamlessly into the quiet flow of cosmic evolution. The idea of such a structure is humbling. Everything we observe, every star, every cluster, every trace of the cosmic web, might be only a tiny patch of a universe whose true scale is far beyond imagining. We live inside a small illuminated bubble of light, while the greater expanse stretches outward into unlit distances. Within that vastness, something may be stirring the currents beneath our cosmic feet. Scientists may never detect this hidden mass directly. Its light may never reach us, but its gravitational whisper travels farther than light can, touching the galaxies within our horizon. And through those galaxies, it touches us as well. Not physically, but in the quiet wonder it inspires. As you breathe gently, let that wonder settle around you. The universe is vast, and within its immensity lie shapes and stories beyond sight. Dark flow is simply one of those stories, a reminder that even what we cannot see can still guide us softly, steadily through the dark. Dark flow invites explanations that stretch beyond familiar physics, opening doors to ideas that are stranger, softer, and more dreamlike than anything anchored in ordinary matter. When scientists realize that no known structure within our observable universe could account for this vast, coordinated drift, their imaginations reached outward, toward possibilities that feel almost poetic in their mystery. Not frightening, not chaotic, just deeply unfamiliar, like a gentle wind from a landscape we've never seen. As you breathe slowly, imagine that beyond the horizon of our cosmos, something exotic exists. Not a cluster of stars or a wall of galaxies, but a relic of forces that shaped the universe long before light could form. One possibility is a cosmic string, a thin, incredibly dense thread of energy left over from the earliest moments after the Big Bang. If one of these ancient filaments stretched across regions beyond our observable universe, its gravitational pull could be strong enough to steer galaxy clusters, creating a subtle flow that echoes across billions of years. Try to picture it not as a literal string, but as a line of tension in the fabric of space itself, like a crease in a blanket tugging softly at everything nearby, invisible, silent, yet powerful enough to guide galaxies like leaves drifting along a hidden seam. Another idea is even more ethereal, the possibility that our universe once brushed against another universe entirely. In some models, the cosmos is not a single bubble of space, but one among countless others floating in a vast, higher dimensional expanse. If our bubble once collided gently with another, the imprint of that meeting could have left a directional tilt, a faint push still felt today. This isn't the violent crash one might imagine. It would be more like two soap bubbles touching briefly, leaving behind a ripple that drifts through the ages. As you exhale, let that image soften in your mind. Two universes touching, a delicate ripple, a lingering motion. Some theories go further still, imagining that dark flow arises from physics operating in higher dimensions, realms we cannot perceive but which influence the three-dimensional space we inhabit. In this view, the drift is not a pull from something within our universe, but a nudge from beyond it, a gentle reminder that reality may be richer and more layered than our senses can grasp. These exotic explanations are not claims, only possibilities. Scientists explore them not out of certainty, but out of curiosity, the same quiet curiosity that guides you through this meditative journey tonight. Dark flow becomes a space where imagination and physics meet, where the unknown is not a void but a canvas. Let these ideas drift around you like slow-moving stars. There is no need to choose one or understand them fully. They offer a simple comfort. The universe is bigger and stranger than we know, and mystery can be a gentle place to rest. Breathe in, breathe out, and let the exotic possibilities of the cosmos lull your thoughts into deeper stillness. The shape of the universe is not something we can see directly. It has no edges we can touch, no surface we can walk along, no outline we can trace with our eyes. Instead, its shape is something we infer from the way galaxies move, the way light bends and the way space expands, and dark flow, with its strange, steady drift, hints that the universe may be shaped in ways far more intricate than the smooth, uniform cosmos we once imagined. As you breathe softly, imagine space not as an empty box, but as a fabric, flexible, curved, and full of hidden contours. In ordinary cosmology, this fabric is nearly flat, stretching evenly in all directions. But if dark flow is real and persistent, it might suggest a subtle asymmetry, a gentle tilt or fold in the cosmic landscape. Not a sharp bend, not a dramatic twist, just the faintest inclination, like a hillside so shallow you only notice it by watching how water flows across it. This is the kind of motion scientists see in galaxy clusters. Their drift may not be the result of a massive object pulling them, but a sign that space itself has a slight directional preference, a global pattern written into the geometry of the universe. Imagine laying a marble on a vast smooth table. If the table is truly flat, the marble stays still, but if the table tilts by even the slightest fraction, the marble begins to roll. Dark flow may be that roll, a quiet indication of a gentle slope in space-time. Some models suggest the universe could be curved not just in the dimensions we know, but in hidden dimensions we cannot directly perceive. In these theories, the shape of the universe is like a shadow. We see only its simple projection, while its true form is far more complex. If higher dimensional shapes influence our cosmos, they could create preferred directions of motion, subtle flows, or long, sweeping gradients that guide galaxy clusters across billions of years. Let your mind rest in that thought. The idea that space could have texture, soft ridges, imperceptible valleys, quiet slopes, is strangely soothing. It transforms the universe from a sterile void into a kind of cosmic landscape, one that galaxies drift across like travelers following ancient paths. Another possibility is that the universe is larger than we can observe, not just in size, but in structure. It could be shaped like a vast curved expanse, or even loop back on itself in ways impossible to visualize. In such a universe, dark flow might be a sign of the deeper architecture of reality, the quiet geometry upon which every star and planet rests. You don't need to picture the details. Just imagine space itself having a gentle direction, like a breeze too soft to feel but strong enough to guide the leaves on a still pond. Tonight, let that subtle cosmic shape cradle your thoughts. The universe flows softly and steadily, and you can drift with it. One of the most dreamlike possibilities behind dark flow is the idea that our universe may not be alone. Instead, it could be just one bubble in a vast multiverse, a cosmic archipelago where countless universes drift, expand and brush against one another in an ocean of higher dimensions. In most moments of daily life, such an idea feels abstract, too far from our senses to grasp. But here, in the quiet of night, it becomes softer, gentler, a possibility you can hold lightly, like a feather resting in your palm. Imagine our universe as a shimmering soap bubble. Inside it are all the stars, all the galaxies, all the light we can ever see. The bubble expands, growing larger each moment. But what if, beyond its luminous surface, there are other bubbles too? Other universes forming, growing, drifting. Each one with its own laws of physics, its own rhythms, its own stories written in light. We cannot see them, but if one drifted near ours in the earliest moments of cosmic time, the touch might have left a subtle imprint, a direction, a tilt, a flow. Some cosmologists propose that dark flow may be the faint remnant of such a cosmic brushing, the lingering echo of two universes meeting briefly in a higher dimensional space. Not a collision in the violent sense, but a gentle contact, like two lanterns drifting close on a quiet ocean. The meeting would send ripples through space-time, shaping the motion of matter long before galaxies formed. Those ripples could still be guiding galaxy clusters today, their influence stretched thin but persistent across billions of years. As you relax into your breath, picture that soft ripple. It moves slowly, almost imperceptibly, like the hush of a tide washing over sand. The galaxies within our bubble drift along its curve, unaware of its source, following a pattern older than stars. To them, and to us, the flow simply exists. A quiet direction embedded in the fabric of existence. There are other multiverse ideas too. Some suggest that our universe may sit beside countless others, each with its own geometry. If a neighbouring universe had different energy properties, its gravity could seep across the boundary, tugging gently on ours. Another model imagines universes stacked like pages in a book, close enough that their gravitational fields overlap. In this view, dark flow is not a mystery, but a natural consequence of sharing space with unseen companions. Let these visions drift softly around you. They're not meant to be solved tonight. They're not puzzles to tighten your mind around. They're invitations, open, spacious and calming, to imagine a reality bigger than the one your senses reveal. A reality where our universe is part of a quiet community, drifting among many others, connected by forces we can feel but never see. As you breathe out, let that thought settle. Perhaps dark flow is not just a scientific anomaly, but a gentle reminder that we may be part of something larger, a cosmic neighborhood shrouded in silence, yet somehow touching us through the faintest whispers of motion. Gravity is the universe's softest voice. It doesn't shout, doesn't rush, doesn't demand attention. Instead, it whispers across impossible distances, shaping the paths of planets, stars and galaxies with a patient, unwavering touch. What makes dark flow so intriguing is the idea that this whisper may be reaching us from somewhere we can never see, a region beyond our cosmic horizon, where light has not yet had time to travel to us. Yet gravity, subtle and persistent, may already be shaping our part of the universe. As you sink deeper into rest, imagine standing at the edge of a vast field on a misty morning. You cannot see what lies beyond the fog, but you can feel a breeze, gentle and consistent, flowing from somewhere hidden. Gravity works in a similar way. You don't need to see what causes it. Its influence alone tells a story. If an enormous mass exists outside our observable universe, perhaps a colossal supercluster, or an ancient concentration of matter left over from before inflation, its gravity could extend into our region of space, tugging gently on galaxy clusters like a tide brushing the shore. This doesn't mean galaxies speed toward that hidden region. The motion is subtle, like the tiniest lean in a traveller's step. But over billions of years, even a faint gravitational pull can create a coordinated drift. When scientists map the motions of distant clusters, they found this coherence, a soft alignment, as though galaxies were responding to a gravitational breeze from the unseeable beyond. Let your breath deepen as you picture this gentle pull. You don't need to imagine anything dramatic. Just think of gravity as a quiet thread connecting all things, stretching smoothly across the universe. Even across boundaries we cannot cross, that thread may continue, tying our cosmic neighborhood to realms far outside our line of sight. What lies beyond the horizon may never be illuminated by light, but its influence can still arrive, carried not by photons but by the curvature of space-time itself. This makes gravity unique. It is the only messenger that can reach us from a region forever hidden. It can shape motions without revealing its source. It can create order without offering an image. In this sense, dark flow becomes a message written in motion, a hint that the universe is larger than our patch of sky, shaped by forces that reach across the boundaries of the visible, a reminder that even the unseen can guide, influence, and shape the world we inhabit. As you exhale, let the idea soothe you. Every life contains influences that come from beyond what we can perceive, memories, histories, emotions whose origins we barely understand. The universe too carries invisible influences, and it moves gently under their touch. Tonight, let that quiet, gravitational whisper settle into your thoughts. You are part of a cosmos connected in ways both seen and unseen, drifting softly through a universe woven with distant, patient tides. One of the most intriguing features of dark flow is its consistency. Year after year, study after study, the same quiet drift appears in the data, steady, calm and aligned toward the same distant region of the sky. It does not waver, it does not scatter, it simply persists, like a soft breeze that never changes direction. Even as new telescopes gather more precise measurements and new surveys map deeper regions of the cosmos, that faint motion remains, subtle but unmistakable. As you breathe deeply, imagine floating in a vast tranquil sea. The water barely moves, Yet beneath the surface, a gentle current nudges you in one direction. It's not strong enough to push you abruptly, only enough to guide you slowly, steadily, over long stretches of time. Galaxy clusters experience something similar. They are carried by a cosmic current so faint that an individual galaxy could drift for billions of years and barely notice its motion. But across the grand sweep of the cosmos, the pattern emerges clearly, like the tide's influence on the coastline long after the water has passed. Scientists have tried to dismiss the flow as an artifact of noisy data or imperfect measurements. Yet even after applying stricter methods, refining instruments, and analysing the sky in different ways, the same direction of motion keeps returning. This quiet persistence is part of what makes dark flow so captivating. When something continues to appear, despite every attempt to explain it away, it begins to feel less like an error and more like a whisper from the universe. Let your body relax into that idea. There's comfort in steadiness, in patterns that remain gentle and reliable. The flow has no chaos, no abrupt changes, just a calm, enduring drift, weaving galaxy clusters into a soft river of motion across the cosmic landscape. It invites us to wonder not through shock or urgency, but through its unwavering presence. Imagine the night sky as a great tapestry, and dark flow as a single, subtle thread that runs through it. Not the brightest thread, not the most obvious, but the one that stays perfectly straight while others twist and curl. A thread that hints at a deeper design beneath the surface, a design we cannot yet fully trace. Some scientists compare this persistence to a cosmic hum, a background rhythm that continues no matter how far we look or how precisely we measure. It may reveal something profound about the nature of space-time, or it may be a relic from the universe's earliest moments, carrying forward through eons with quiet dignity. Tonight, let that persistence soothe you. The universe, in all its vast complexity, carries patterns that endure, and you, resting here, are part of that quiet rhythm, steady, drifting, unhurried. Stop thinking of answers for now, just drift with the flow that has been drifting since the dawn of time. For all its quiet beauty, dark flow is still a scientific mystery, and mysteries in science must be tested again and again. Astronomers don't accept strange results easily. They question them, dissect them, and search for every possible source of error. And so, as soon as the first hints of dark flow appeared, scientists began to challenge it, scrutinizing the data with the same steady patience that defines the cosmos itself. As you breathe slowly, imagine a group of researchers gathered around a map of the sky, tracing faint temperature shifts in the cosmic microwave background. They don't assume the flow is real. Instead, they ask, could this be noise? Could it be contamination from our own instruments? Could distant galaxies, dust, or foreground radiation be distorting the measurements? The process is methodical, almost meditative. Every possibility must be considered, every assumption tested. Some teams reanalyze the data using different statistical methods. Others recalibrated instruments or looked for patterns in completely separate sky surveys. Each attempt was like gently wiping condensation from a window to see if the scene outside truly shifts. And still the faint directional drift remained. Not loud, not bold, just present. A small, consistent pattern amid a swirling sea of cosmic noise. Let your breath settle into a soft rhythm as you picture the care behind this work. No scientist leaps to exotic explanations without first exhausting the ordinary ones. They consider data processing errors, temperature leakage from telescopes, and biases in cluster catalogues. They compare results across different frequencies of light. They simulate millions of artificial universes to see how often random chance could produce a similar pattern. The answer? Rare. Very rare. Yet certainty remains elusive. Another set of scientists argues that the flow may disappear when more precise measurements, from missions like Planck are applied. But even Planck's results leave enough ambiguity to spark quiet debate. Some see no strong evidence for the flow, others see signs that the drift is still there, hidden beneath layers of cosmic complexity. It's like standing on a beach at twilight and watching the waves. Some say the tide is rising, others insist it's falling. The ocean's surface moves gently enough that both interpretations seem possible, depending on where you look. Dark flow sits in that same soft uncertainty, a mystery balanced on the edge of what our instruments can resolve. And there is something soothing about this. Science is not a chase for immediate answers. It is a slow unfolding, a patient listening to the universe's whispers. Dark flow may be real, or it may dissolve as we refine our tools, but the process of questioning, the calm, deliberate examination of the cosmos, is its own quiet beauty. Tonight, let the uncertainty be comforting. Not every mystery needs quick resolution. Some are meant to drift beside us gently, inviting wonder rather than demanding conclusions. Allow yourself to drift with this one too. When scientists consider dark flow as a possible imprint from the earliest moments of existence, a poetic idea begins to emerge, the idea that the universe remembers. Not in a conscious sense, of course, but through patterns frozen into its structure, echoes carried forward across billions of years. Every ripple from the first fractions of a second after the Big Bang still lingers, shaping the cosmic landscape like faint fingerprints on ancient glass. As you inhale slowly, imagine the universe as a vast, tranquil lake. When it was young, countless droplets of energy fell upon its surface, creating ripples that spread outward in all directions. Over time, the lake expanded, cooled, and stretched far beyond its original boundaries. But those early ripples never fully disappeared. They softened, widened, and faded, yet a trace of their motion remained. Dark flow may be one such ripple, a whisper of the universe's earliest memory. This is one of cosmology's gentlest concepts, that the universe carries its past within itself, patterns left by inflation, gradients formed when space was still molten and bright, slight differences in density that existed long before stars or galaxies came to be. These ancient features can still influence the movement of galaxy clusters today, guiding them subtly, patiently, silently. Let that idea settle around you like a warm blanket. The universe has grown unimaginably large since its birth, but the seeds of its structure were planted in those first moments. Just as old riverbeds shape the flow of water long after the rivers have dried, the early universe's shape may still guide the motion of matter today. You don't need to picture the physics. You only need to imagine that the cosmos, much like a human life, carries traces of where it has been. Some scientists imagine that before inflation stretched space, there may have been regions with slightly different gravitational potentials, gentle slopes in the landscape of space-time. When the universe inflated, those slopes stretched too, becoming enormous features far beyond our observational horizon. Yet their influence might still drift across the cosmos, nudging galaxies through a memory too old to name. As you exhale, allow yourself to feel the calmness in this thought. Just as the universe remembers its ancient beginnings, so do we carry memories, subtle impressions from childhood, traces of experiences that shaped who we are. Most of these memories don't speak loudly, they influence us gently, like the faint tilt of a path we walk without noticing. Dark flow, if it is a relic of the early cosmos, is a reminder that everything moves within a continuum of history. Nothing begins completely fresh. All motion has roots. All journeys have origins. Tonight, let that continuity soothe your mind. You are drifting through a universe that remembers, softly, quietly, in ways that guide the stars themselves. The cosmic microwave background, that faint afterglow of the Big Bang, is more than just ancient light. It is a tapestry, woven with patterns so delicate that they can only be seen through careful listening rather than direct sight. Every tiny variation in its temperature, every subtle ripple in its glow, carries information about the universe's earlier structures and the motions that have unfolded since. Hidden within these patterns are clues to dark flow, written not in bright marks or bold signatures, but in the softest gradients of warmth and coolness across the sky. As you inhale gently, imagine this background light as a vast, dim mural stretching around the Earth. Its colours are muted, almost uniform, like the soft blue-grey of dawn. But if you look closely, with instruments far more sensitive than human eyes, you would notice slight shifts in shade, tiny speckles where the temperature varies by only millionths of a degree. These are not random. They form a quiet map of ancient motion. When galaxy clusters move, they leave faint imprints on this mural. Their motion through the background light causes tiny shifts in the energy of the photons passing near them, creating a subtle trail. Not visible, not dramatic, just the hint of a ripple, like the faint wake left behind a slow-moving boat on a still lake. By measuring these ripples across thousands of clusters, scientists begin to trace patterns, and within those patterns, a direction gently emerges. The same soft drift we call dark flow. Let your breath ease as you picture these patterns forming over billions of years. The cosmic background light is like a diary written before the universe had stars. A diary that recorded not words, but temperature, texture, and silence. These small variations hold stories of density fluctuations, early gravitational pulls, and the slight tug of structures that may lie beyond our observational horizon. Some regions of the sky show tiny alignments, almost like threads running in a subtle direction. Scientists debate their meaning, but many see hints of large-scale motion embedded in the ancient glow, patterns too coherent to be chance, too delicate to be fully understood. They are clues, invitations, quiet reminders that the universe's earliest motions still echo across its surface. There is something calming about this ancient light. It is not turbulent, it is not loud. It provides the same reassurance as soft moonlight filtering through a window, constant, gentle, unchanged across the span of a human lifetime, and within that constancy hides endless stories, waiting patiently for us to decipher them. As you sink deeper into stillness, imagine that you too are wrapped in that faint cosmic glow. The light touches everything, even now, filling every corner of space. The patterns within it are subtle but enduring, just like the thoughts that drift across your mind before sleep. Tonight, let the ancient patterns rest with you. The universe carries its history in light, and you are floating in that quiet radiance. Among the many patterns hidden within the cosmic background light, one feature has lingered in scientific discussions for years, a curious alignment stretching across vast regions of the sky. Some call it the axis of evil, though the name is far more dramatic than the phenomenon itself. In truth, this alignment is quiet, subtle, and strangely beautiful. A faint line, a preferred direction where temperature variations seem to coordinate more than expected. And intriguingly, this direction roughly overlaps with the same region toward which dark flow appears to drift. As you inhale slowly, imagine the sky not as a dome, but as a soft sphere surrounding you. On this sphere, gentle shifts in temperature form patterns like brush strokes in a watercolour painting. Most brush strokes appear random, scattered without intention. But one stroke, one long, delicate sweep, seems to stretch across the canvas, pointing toward a single region. It is not bold, it does not glow, it simply leans in a particular direction. Scientists debate its meaning. Some believe it may be an artifact, a quirk of data processing, or a relic of foreground interference. Others think it may reflect something deeply woven into the structure of space-time itself. But for our calm journey tonight, this alignment is not a puzzle to be solved. It is an image, gentle, mysterious, soothing, of the universe hinting at direction where none should exist. Let your breath settle into an easy rhythm. Picture a soft breeze passing across a field of tall grass. Most blades sway unpredictably, each moving to its own rhythm. Yet every now and then, a section leans together, following the same whisper of wind. The axis across the sky is like that shared lean, a subtle coherence among countless fluctuations. What makes this even more intriguing is how these temperature variations align with other cosmic asymmetries: the dipole direction, the clustering of certain modes, and of course the quiet drift of galaxies we call dark flow. Alone, each feature might be coincidence. Together they paint a picture of the universe with a soft preference, a faint arrow drawn across the sky. This doesn't mean the cosmos is lopsided or flawed. It simply suggests that the early universe may have contained patterns too large to fit within our observable region. Like a tapestry whose edges have been trimmed, we see only part of a greater design. The alignment becomes a gentle reminder that our cosmic window is small, and the universe beyond it may hold shapes more intricate than we can imagine. As you exhale, allow the image of that soft cosmic line to relax you. It is not ominous. It is not urgent. It is a quiet feature, a whisper of direction woven into the sky's oldest light. Let it guide your thoughts the way a faint moonlit path guides your steps, gently, intuitively, without asking for certainty. Tonight, rest with the idea that even the universe carries subtle alignments, soft traces of something larger than what we can see. And just like those patterns, your thoughts can drift in their own gentle direction, toward calm, toward stillness, toward sleep. One of the most calming yet haunting aspects of dark flow is the simple truth that the universe is moving, and we don't know why. Galaxies, clusters, and superclusters drift toward a distant region of the sky, following a quiet, coordinated pattern. But unlike winds or currents on Earth, this cosmic motion has no clear source. No visible mass pulls them. No known force guides them. They move, gently and persistently, without a cause we can point to. As you breathe slowly, imagine yourself floating in a vast, tranquil sea at night. You close your eyes, and your body begins to drift. Not because of a wave you can feel or a sound you can hear. You drift simply because the water around you carries you without explanation. Dark flow feels much the same. It is motion without a visible push, a current without a visible tide. Scientists are accustomed to explaining movement. Planets orbit because of gravity. Stars ignite because of pressure. The universe expands because of dark energy. Yet here, in this quiet drift, the cause remains hidden. And rather than panic or urgency, the mystery brings a kind of stillness, a humbling reminder that knowledge has edges, and beyond those edges lies something soft and unknown. Let that thought rest gently in your mind. Sometimes in life you feel movement without knowing its cause, a mood that drifts in, a memory that rises unexpectedly, a sense of change without a clear beginning. The cosmos mirrors this human experience, motion that simply is, arising without explanation, inviting acceptance rather than analysis. Astronomers have explored countless explanations, each more intriguing than the last. Could the flow be caused by massive structures outside the observable universe? Could it be the lingering imprint of primordial physics? Could it hint at higher dimensions or a multiverse touching our own? Each possibility is as vast as it is uncertain, but none have yet provided a definitive answer. And here is the quiet beauty. The universe continues to drift regardless of whether we understand it. Galaxy clusters glide across billions of light years with peaceful consistency, guided by a force or memory that remains beyond our reach. Their motion is patient, undemanding. They are not in a hurry to reveal their secrets. As you exhale, imagine following that motion, a soft, unforced drift toward rest. You don't need to solve the mystery tonight. You don't need to hold the entire universe in your thoughts. You can simply float with the idea that sometimes motion exists without a known cause, and that can be comforting. Let that uncaused motion wrap around you like the quiet of a dim room. Let it help your thoughts soften. The universe is full of gentle mysteries, and dark flow is one of them. A reminder that not everything needs an explanation to bring peace. Tonight, drift with the unexplainable. To explore dark flow, scientists often turn to simulations, vast digital universes built inside powerful computers where billions of particles swirl and drift under the influence of gravity, dark matter, dark energy, and the subtle curvature of space-time. These simulations are not merely visualizations, they are miniature cosmoses, crafted to reflect our best understanding of physics. And when they are allowed to evolve over billions of years, they reveal patterns that help us sense the invisible forces shaping the real universe. As you inhale slowly, imagine sitting before a large glowing screen in a quiet observatory at night. On the screen, a digital universe unfolds. Galaxies form like slow-blooming flowers. Dark matter spreads like an intricate web. Clusters drift, merge, and separate with tranquil grace. In this virtual cosmos, you can watch motions that are too vast and too slow to perceive in the real sky. Motions that take billions of years, compressed into moments of soft, unfolding colour. Scientists use these simulations to ask, what kind of force could create the drift we observe? They test different possibilities. They add massive structures beyond the observable horizon. They impose early universe imprints. They tweak the curvature of space-time, and each simulation flows differently. Some universes drift, others remain still. Some reproduce the soft alignment we call dark flow. Others dissolve into disorder. Let your breath settle as you picture these digital currents. In some simulations, galaxy clusters move in coordinated streams as if carried by a cosmic tide. These flowing patterns look eerily similar to the real data, not exact, not perfect, but suggestive, like hearing the faint echo of a familiar melody across a quiet valley. In other simulations, the flow vanishes entirely unless something outside the visible boundary is added, a heavy concentration of mass, a boundary condition, or an ancient directional imprint. This strengthens the idea that dark flow, if real, might stem from something beyond the cosmic horizon, or from an early structure now lost to visibility. But simulations also teach humility. If even small changes in assumptions lead to different flows, the real universe may hold complexities we've not yet imagined. And that uncertainty carries its own peaceful wisdom. Not everything can be discovered through calculation. Some mysteries must be approached with curiosity rather than control. As you exhale, imagine drifting with the simulated galaxies. Their paths curve gently, shaped by silent forces that never reveal themselves fully. You move with them across depths of digital space, feeling the tranquility of a universe in motion. In these simulations, the cosmos becomes a story written in movement, a story still unfolding, still expanding, still drifting toward its unknown future. Tonight, let yourself drift with it. You are part of a universe that flows, both in data and in dreams. Dark flow unfolds across distances so immense that they defy ordinary imagination. The galaxy clusters involved are not near to us nor to each other. They are separated by billions of light years, distances so vast that even if you travelled at the speed of light, you would not reach them within the lifetime of our sun. And yet, despite these unimaginable separations, they appear to drift in the same direction, as though responding to a single, distant call. The scale of this shared motion is one of the most calming and humbling aspects of the mystery. As you inhale gently, try to imagine the space between clusters, not crowded with stars or planets, but mostly empty. a quiet, dark expanse where photons can travel for eons without brushing past anything. In this emptiness, galaxy clusters glide like isolated ships on an endless ocean. Their motion is subtle. Over 1 million years, a cluster may drift only a tiny fraction of a light year. But over billions of years, the drift becomes noticeable, like a long shadow created by an evening sun. Dark flow stretches across regions more than 1 billion light-years wide, a scale so enormous that it touches galaxy clusters in every direction we can measure. Imagine a current strong enough to move entire islands, yet gentle enough that each island barely feels it. If you picture the universe as a great dark sea, dark flow becomes the faintest tide, stretching from shore to shore, influencing objects separated by distances beyond our comprehension. Let your breath deepen as you hold that image. The calmness of the drift comes not from its speed, which is modest, almost sleepy, but from its reach. It spans a portion of the cosmos so large that it begins to feel abstract, like contemplating the horizon from the deck of a ship at night. You know the horizon is there, but it is too distant to grasp, too wide to measure with the eye. In human life, we rarely encounter patterns that operate on such scales. Our days unfold in meters, our journeys in kilometers, our memories across years. But the universe operates on expanses measured in billions of light years. To it, the drift of galaxy clusters is just another slow, steady motion, a cosmic inhale and exhale stretched across eternity. Scientists describe dark flow in kilometers per second, but those numbers don't truly express its essence. The flow is not about speed, it is about connection across vastness. It is about motion that continues even when distances seem too great for influence to stretch across them. As you exhale, let the scale of the universe soften your thoughts. There is comfort in knowing that even in such immensity patterns exist. Movements align, currents form. Nothing is too far, too isolated, too distant to be part of a greater motion. Tonight you are drifting in that vastness too, calmly, gently, carried by the same cosmic sea. When we imagine the universe, we often picture it as smooth and uniform, a vast expanse where galaxies float freely through space, guided only by gravity and the general expansion of the cosmos. But dark flow encourages a softer, more textured view. It invites us to imagine that the universe might have geography, subtle landscapes, gentle slopes, invisible valleys, and quiet ridges in the fabric of space-time itself. Not terrain we could ever touch or see, but gravitational contours that influence the motion of galaxies across billions of light years. As you breathe slowly, imagine space-time as a soft, flexible surface. If this surface were perfectly flat, galaxies would drift without preference, moving only with the smooth expansion of the universe. But if the surface has even the slightest incline, a gentle slope so shallow it becomes visible only when measured across cosmic distances, then matter will drift along that incline, not because it is being pulled, but because the very fabric beneath it guides its path. Dark flow could be the signature of such hidden geography, a faint slope in space-time, perhaps created by structures beyond the observable universe, or by fluctuations baked into reality during the earliest moments of cosmic inflation. The galaxies we observe might be sliding along this quiet contour, following a path we cannot directly perceive. Let your breath deepen as you picture these invisible landscapes. They are not dramatic mountains or deep trenches, but soft undulations, the kind you might only notice by watching how water flows across them. In the universe, the water is matter, galaxies, clusters, superclusters. Their motion may reveal shapes carved into space-time long before stars ignited. Some physicists explore models in which space-time is curved by massive, unseen structures lying outside our cosmic horizon. In these models, dark flow becomes a kind of gravitational echo, a gentle indication of a distant ridge or valley directing the motion of matter. Others imagine more exotic landscapes, higher dimensional shapes projecting shadows into our three-dimensional world. These shadows could create patterns of motion that feel mysterious from our limited perspective, but perfectly natural in a larger reality. There is something calming about thinking of the universe in this way. Instead of being empty and formless, it becomes a subtle, serene landscape, one that shapes the flow of galaxies the way quiet hills shape the movement of morning fog. The geography is hidden, but its influence is ever present, soft and patient. As you exhale, feel how this image mirrors your own inner world. You too have landscapes beneath the surface, memories, emotions, experiences that guide your thoughts and actions in ways you cannot always see. They form the gentle contours of your life's path. Tonight, let those hidden geographies soothe you. The universe drifts along its unseen contours, and you drift along yours. Both are shaped by quiet forces, subtle and enduring, guiding everything toward its natural flow. When we speak of dark flow, we often imagine gravity, mass, and the fabric of space-time itself guiding galaxies across the cosmos. But there is another way to think about it, gentler, more intuitive, and deeply soothing. Imagine dark flow as a kind of cosmic weather, not a storm or a wind in the literal sense, but a vast atmospheric pattern woven into the universe, influencing the movement of matter with slow, patient currents. As you breathe softly, imagine standing in a wide, open field as a gentle breeze passes by. You cannot see the air itself, yet you feel its drift. You see how the grass leans, how leaves flutter, how small motions add up to a larger, invisible pattern. In the same way, astronomers do not see dark flow directly. They see how galaxy clusters lean, how their subtle shifts reveal the presence of a quiet cosmic breeze moving across billions of light years. This metaphor helps soften the mystery. Instead of picturing massive structures or exotic forces, imagine the universe having patterns of motion, just as Earth has trade winds, ocean currents, and jet streams. These patterns do not exist because of a single cause. They arise naturally from the shape, history, and energy distribution of the system they inhabit. The universe may work the same way, flowing not because of one central source, but because its geometry and past create gentle currents that persist through time. Let your breath fall into a calm rhythm as you picture these cosmic winds. They move not with urgency, but with immense patience. A galaxy cluster might drift only slightly in a million years, but the drift is steady enough that, over ages, it forms a coherent stream. These streams become the cosmic equivalent of ocean currents, guiding entire regions of space along their quiet paths. Some scientists explore this idea through simulations that show how large-scale flows emerge naturally in a universe shaped by uneven distributions of matter and energy. Even small asymmetries, amplified over billions of years, can create gentle directional drifts. Others speculate that ancient gravitational patterns laid down in the earliest microseconds of existence act like long-lasting pressure systems, invisible weather that never completely fades. There is comfort in this imagery. Weather is familiar. We live with it, adapt to it, and find beauty in its rhythms. To think of the universe as having weather patterns is to connect with it in a softer, more human way. The motions of galaxies become part of a natural, flowing environment rather than a bewildering anomaly. As you exhale, imagine yourself lying beneath a vast cosmic sky, feeling the faintest breeze of the universe brushing across your thoughts. It's gentle, steady, timeless. You drift with it, the way grass drifts with the wind, the way waves move with tides, the way galaxies glide with dark flow. Tonight, let the idea of cosmic weather lull you deeper into rest. The universe flows softly and endlessly, and you are safe within that flow. When we imagine space, We often picture it as smooth and empty, a silent stage where galaxies drift without resistance. But some theories invite a gentler, more intricate vision, that space itself may have texture. Not texture you could touch, but patterns woven into the fabric of space-time, so subtle they only reveal themselves over billions of years. If such textures exist, they could guide the flow of galaxies the way faint grooves guide the path of water on stone. As you breathe slowly, imagine space-time as a vast sheet of soft fabric. If it were perfectly smooth, everything on it would drift without preference, carried only by expansion. But if the fabric contains delicate folds, slight warps, imperceptible ridges, almost invisible channels, then objects placed upon it will move along those lines. They won't feel pushed or pulled, they'll simply follow the natural contours beneath them. Dark flow could be the whisper of such hidden textures, not a force acting upon galaxies, but a shape beneath them, a gentle alignment in space-time that becomes visible only when we look across enormous distances. If the universe has these subtle imprints, they might have formed during inflation, the moment when space expanded faster than light, stretching tiny irregularities into cosmic-scale patterns. Let your breath deepen as you imagine these textures spreading out like ripples frozen in fabric. Over billions of years, galaxies settle into the grooves, drifting along paths carved before stars existed. They move naturally, quietly, without awareness. Their motion becomes a soft echo of the universe's earlier structure. Some physicists propose even more delicate textures, quantum fluctuations stretched across cosmic scales, leaving statistical patterns that create preferred directions. Others imagine that space-time is not continuous but granular, composed of tiny units, like pixels too small to perceive. If these units are arranged with even the slightest asymmetry, they might generate slow, directional drifts across the cosmos. There is a calming simplicity in this idea. Instead of searching for hidden forces or massive objects, we imagine the universe itself holding its shape the way a riverbed holds water. The galaxies drift because space-time guides them, not because anything pulls them. Motion flows from form. As you exhale, feel how this mirrors quiet truths in life. Sometimes we are guided not by direct forces, but by subtle structures, habits, memories, environments, emotions, textures beneath the surface that shape our path without us realizing. They are not loud, they are not forceful, they simply exist, guiding gently. Dark flow may be the universe revealing that it too has underlying contours, soft, ancient and woven into reality. Tonight, let that image cradle your thoughts. You're drifting across the gentle textures of your own inner world, just as galaxies drift across the textures of space-time. No urgency, no pressure, only flow. Dark matter is one of the universe's quietest mysteries, invisible, silent, and yet essential to almost every structure we see in the cosmos. It does not shine, does not absorb light, and does not interact in familiar ways, but it has gravity, and gravity shapes everything. Galaxies form because dark matter gathers in great, unseen halos. Clusters bind together because dark matter weaves them into cosmic nets. So it's natural to wonder, could dark flow be another soft trace of dark matter's hidden architecture? As you breathe calmly, imagine dark matter as a transparent web stretching across the universe. You cannot see it, but its presence guides the motion of galaxies the way a skeleton supports a body. If this web extends beyond the observable universe, if it forms structures larger than the ones we can detect, then its gravity might create a gentle pull, nudging galaxy clusters in a common direction. Picture it as a great invisible landscape. Some regions of the dark matter web might be denser, forming quiet hills or valleys in the gravitational field. Galaxy clusters drifting near these regions would naturally slide toward them. just as water flows toward the lowest point in a basin. The movement would be slow, steady, and consistent, much like the drift we associate with dark flow. Let your breath fall into an easy rhythm as you imagine this invisible terrain. Dark matter does not glow or shimmer, it simply is. It holds galaxies like lanterns suspended from an unseen wire. If there is more dark matter beyond our horizon, perhaps in vast concentrations we cannot map, its pull could shape the flow of clusters across billions of years. Some scientists propose that enormous dark matter structures, far larger than any visible supercluster, may reside just beyond the cosmic horizon. These structures might be relics from the early universe, formed when matter first settled into patterns after inflation. Their gravity would extend into our observable space, tugging faintly on everything within reach. The effect would be almost imperceptible on short timescales, but over the age of the universe, it could create a directional drift. Others suggest that dark matter might not be perfectly uniform in its properties. If the particles that make up dark matter have slight asymmetries, or if they interact with unknown fields, they could create patterns of motion that ripple across cosmic scales. These patterns could guide galaxies the way currents guide drifting boats. There is something soothing about imagining the universe filled with unseen structure, a quiet scaffolding holding everything together. Dark matter does not demand attention, it simply supports, it anchors, it guides without revealing itself. As you exhale, let that idea calm you. Much like dark matter, many forces in life support us invisibly. Kindnesses we don't see, histories we don't fully understand, gentle influences that shape our path. The universe flows on hidden frameworks, and so do we. Tonight, rest in the thought that even the unseen can hold you. Dark energy is perhaps the most mysterious ingredient in the universe. It makes up nearly 70% of everything, yet we cannot see it, touch it, or measure it directly. We know it only through its influence, the way it stretches the fabric of space, accelerating the expansion of the cosmos. It is a quiet, persistent force, pushing galaxies apart with a gentle pressure that grows stronger over time. And some scientists wonder whether this subtle energy could play a role in the phenomenon we call dark flow. As you inhale slowly, imagine dark energy not as a force in the traditional sense, but as a soft, expansive presence, woven through every corner of space. It does not blow or pull, it simply causes the distance between things to grow, like ink spreading through water. But what if this expansion is not perfectly uniform? What if dark energy has slight variations, gentle gradients or pockets where its influence is stronger or weaker? If such gradients exist, they might create a slow drift in the motion of galaxy clusters, guiding them toward regions where the pressure of dark energy is slightly lower. In this picture, dark flow is not a tug, but a gentle tilt in the expansion of the universe. A quiet unevenness, so soft it can only be seen when you look across billions of light years. Let your breath deepen as you imagine this subtle influence spreading through space. Dark energy is invisible and silent, yet it shapes the destiny of galaxies. It stretches them apart. It guides time toward a more spacious future. If it has even the faintest imbalance, that imbalance could accumulate, forming a cosmic slope down which clusters drift with steady patience. Some researchers explore more exotic possibilities. Perhaps dark energy interacts with matter differently in distant regions of the universe. Perhaps it evolves over time, changing slightly from place to place. In these models, dark flow becomes a sign of dark energy's hidden complexity, a soft ripple in the otherwise smooth expansion of space. Others picture dark energy as part of a dynamic field, the way temperature or pressure can vary across Earth's atmosphere. If the field had an early fluctuation, a tiny wrinkle left over from inflation, It could guide cosmic motions even now, billions of years later. Imagine a gentle breeze that began at dawn and continues through the night, never strong, never loud, but always drifting in the same direction. As you exhale, let this idea bring you calm. Dark energy reminds us that much of the universe works quietly, invisibly, beneath the surface. We do not need to see every mechanism to feel its presence. The flow of galaxies may reflect a deeper harmony, a pattern shaped by energies we barely understand. You too are shaped by soft influences, memories, emotions, rhythms of breath, guiding you gently through your life. They do not announce themselves, they simply carry you. Tonight, imagine drifting with the dark energy of the universe, spacious, quiet, expansive, flowing toward rest. There is something profoundly human about dark flow, not in its mechanics or its cosmic scale, but in the way it stands at the edge of understanding, a quiet motion with no certain cause, a direction with no clear destination. The more we study it, the more it reflects the questions we carry within ourselves. Why do we move the way we do? What invisible forces guide us? What ancient patterns shape our paths long before we become aware of them? As you breathe softly, imagine the universe as a vast mirror. In the slow drift of galaxies, we see our own inner currents, subtle, persistent, often unnoticed until we step back and look across the long arc of our lives. Just as galaxy clusters sway toward an unseen place, we too are drawn by memories, hopes, habits, and quiet intuitions that shape our direction. We don't always know why we feel pulled towards certain choices or away from others. Motion happens softly and naturally before we find reasons for it. Dark flow becomes a gentle symbol of this mystery. Galaxies move, not because they understand the cause, but because the universe carries them. In our lives, motions are often the same. We drift toward people who calm us, experiences that resonate, paths that feel mysteriously right, long before we can explain why. The cosmos shows us that meaning does not always require clarity. Sometimes the flow itself is enough. Let your breath settle into a peaceful rhythm. Imagine that within you, as within the universe, there are hidden structures, gently sloping memories, quiet emotional landscapes, early imprints that continue to guide your journey. You don't need to see them clearly to feel their influence. They are woven into the fabric of your being, shaping your life with the same patience that gravity shapes galaxies. Scientists study dark flow with sophisticated tools, but they also approach it with humility. They accept uncertainty. They recognize the limits of their knowledge, and in doing so, they find beauty in the unresolved. We can do the same. We can honor the questions in our own lives without rushing to answer them, letting them rest gently at the edge of awareness like stars just beyond the horizon. Dark flow encourages a kind of surrender, not a giving up, but a peaceful acceptance that some mysteries unfold slowly. They reveal themselves in their own time. You're allowed to move through life without complete understanding. You're allowed to drift, to explore, to feel pulled by quiet forces you cannot yet name. As you exhale, let the mystery soften your thoughts. You're part of a universe filled with gentle unknowns, where motion arises from depths you do not need to see. The cosmos drifts, you drift, and in that shared motion, there is peace. Let the mystery stay with you, not as a puzzle to solve, but as a soothing companion on your path. There is a quiet beauty in imagining the universe not as a scattered collection of isolated galaxies, but as something capable of moving with a kind of unity, a soft coherence, subtle yet present across unimaginable distances. Dark flow invites this vision. It suggests that, in some faint and ancient way, galaxy clusters separated by billions of light years may share a common direction, as if responding to a whisper carried through the fabric of space itself. As you breathe slowly, imagine standing beneath a vast night sky where countless lanterns float across a dark lake. Each lantern seems independent, drifting on its own. But from a higher vantage point, you begin to notice a pattern. The lanterns all move with the same gentle tendency, as though the water beneath them has a slow, steady current. They do not coordinate. They do not communicate. They simply respond to the flow that carries them. Galaxies too move in this way. Each cluster is like a lantern, glowing softly in the darkness. Alone, its journey is quiet and unremarkable. But taken together, their motion hints at a larger choreography, a cosmic current guiding countless structures in a shared direction. The idea is soothing. It reminds us that even in an enormous, seemingly chaotic universe, patterns of unity can emerge. Let your breath deepen as you imagine this flow spreading across the cosmos. Galaxy clusters drift, not with urgency, but with patience. Their motion is so slow that a single lifetime, or even a million lifetimes, would see no noticeable change. But across billions of years, the pattern becomes clear, a chorus of quiet motion, humming with the memory of something ancient. For scientists, this coherence offers clues about the universe's origins. For us, in this peaceful moment, it offers something gentler, a reminder that separation does not negate connection. Even things unimaginably far apart can share a path, a direction, a rhythm. Distance does not erase belonging. You too are part of movements larger than yourself. Family histories, cultural tides, emotional echoes, the gentle patterns of your own breath. Some of these currents are easy to see, others remain hidden, guiding you softly from beneath the surface. You do not need to fully understand them to feel their presence. As you exhale, imagine drifting through the cosmos as part of that collective motion. You're not alone, not separate, not adrift in isolation. You're carried by the same universal flow that moves galaxies, stars, and clusters across vast expanses of time and space. Everything moves, everything belongs, everything participates in the quiet rhythm of existence. Dark flow becomes not just a scientific mystery, but an image of unity, a soft cosmic reminder that even across immeasurable distances there can be harmony. Tonight, let that unity soothe your thoughts. The universe moves as one, and within that movement you can find rest. Beyond the edge of the observable universe lies a realm we can never see, not because it is dark, but because its light has not had time to reach us. It is a horizon not of distance, but of time itself. And dark flow, with its faint, persistent motion, invites us to imagine that this hidden realm is not empty. Something may be there, something vast, something ancient, something that leaves an imprint without ever revealing its face. As you inhale gently, picture yourself standing on a coastline at dusk. The horizon is calm, unreachable, yet the waves at your feet respond to winds that blow far beyond it. You cannot see those winds, but you feel their influence in every ripple that touches the shore. In the same way, the universe may be influenced by forces, structures, or histories that lie beyond our cosmic horizon. Scientists describe this boundary as an event horizon for the universe. Not a wall, not a barrier, simply the limit of what light has had time to tell us. Beyond it may lie more galaxies, more cosmic web, more dark matter, perhaps even entirely different regions shaped by physics we do not experience. The idea is breathtaking, and yet, in moments like this, it feels strangely soothing. Let your breath soften as you imagine the unseen, not as a void, but as a continuation, the rest of a vast tapestry of which we can see only one glowing patch. If dark flow is real, it might be the softest indication that the universe stretches far beyond our current view, extending into dimensions of space and time we may never fully comprehend. Some theories suggest that massive structures just outside our horizon gently tug on the galaxies we can see. Others propose that the flow is an artifact of physics set in motion before the Big Bang expanded and smoothed space. More speculative ideas imagine entire other universes brushing against our own, influencing our motions the way weak magnetic fields can nudge a compass needle. But tonight, in the quiet of your room, you don't need to solve these possibilities. You can simply rest in the thought that it is okay not to know. The unknown does not have to be frightening. It can be spacious, gentle, a soft invitation to wonder rather than a challenge to understand. Beyond what we can see lies a realm that will always remain beyond, and that is a natural part of existence. We too carry unknowns within ourselves, corners of memory, deep emotions, unspoken hopes. We do not see them clearly, yet they shape our lives. As you exhale, let the unseen universe remind you of your own hidden depths. Not everything must be illuminated, not everything must be known. Some mysteries exist simply to soften us, to open us, to let us drift into imagination. Tonight, rest easy in the vastness beyond knowing. Dark flow may feel like a modern mystery, discovered through satellites, data maps, and delicate measurements of ancient light. But at its heart, it is a story about beginnings, about the forces and patterns set in motion long before galaxies existed, long before stars ignited, long before space even stretched into its present shape. To imagine dark flow is to imagine the universe remembering where it came from, carrying echoes of its earliest moments like gentle currents moving through a vast cosmic sea. As you breathe softly, picture the universe in its infancy, not a place of stars or planets, but a glowing, dense fog of energy and potential. Within this fog were tiny fluctuations, slight differences in density, temperature, and curvature. Most of these variations grew into the cosmic structures we see today, but some imprints, some directional patterns, may have been stretched across regions far larger than our observable universe. These ancient marks could still influence the motion of galaxies long after the fog cooled and revealed the stars. Let your breath deepen as you imagine these early patterns as faint lines drawn in soft clay. Over billions of years, the clay stretches, expands, and becomes a vast landscape, yet the original impressions remain, subtle but persistent. Dark flow may be one such impression, a directional tendency rooted not in the present forces acting on galaxies, but in the conditions established at the dawn of time. Scientists sometimes describe this idea as primordial flow, suggesting that the drift of galaxy clusters is not being caused, but remembered. The universe, in this view, is not reacting to something outside it. It is simply continuing the motion set in place by its earliest geometry, a kind of cosmic childhood memory still playing out in adult life. There is something calming, even tender in this idea. Just as people carry early influences within them, a tone of voice from a parent, a place that shaped them, a moment that stayed, the universe, too, holds on to its beginnings. Its vast motions are not random. They are part of a long, unfolding story that began long before observers like us appeared. As you exhale, let yourself drift into that story. Imagine that every galaxy, every cluster, every shimmering point of light is part of a narrative written across billions of years. The flow becomes a thread connecting the past to the present, a soft reminder that nothing truly exists in isolation. Everything moves in relation to the conditions that formed it. You too carry origins within you, gentle influences that shape your direction without demanding your attention. They guide you softly, the way dark flow guides galaxies, quietly, patiently, without urgency. Tonight, rest in the comfort of continuity. The universe remembers. Its motions unfold like a long exhale from creation itself, and within that ancient memory, there is peace. Dark flow gently raises a poetic question. If the universe is drifting, could it be moving towards something? Not a literal point on a cosmic map, not a physical location in space, but a destination in a more abstract, almost spiritual sense, a direction woven into the fabric of existence. The idea is not meant to be answered definitively. It is an invitation to imagine motion not as randomness, but as purpose carried softly across the ages. As you inhale slowly, picture the universe as a single vast traveller. Every galaxy cluster, every filament of dark matter, every shimmering point of light is part of its body. The expansion of space is its breath. The flow of matter is its heartbeat. If dark flow represents a subtle, persistent direction, then perhaps the cosmos is leaning towards some distant horizon, following a path set down in its earliest moments. This does not imply intention. It does not suggest consciousness. Instead, it hints at a kind of cosmic unfolding, a natural progression towards states shaped by the geometry and energy of the universe. Just as rivers move toward the sea not because they want to, but because the landscape guides them, the universe may be drifting along contours we cannot see, a destination defined by the topography of space-time. Let your breath settle into a soft rhythm as you imagine this cosmic journey. The universe expands outward in all directions, but within that expansion, there may be subtle preferences, gentle tilts, quiet slopes, hidden tensions that guide its long-term evolution. If we could step outside the universe and look at its full form, perhaps we would see a path traced across the deep structure of reality. And just as galaxies drift toward an unknown region, we often find ourselves drawn toward things we cannot fully explain, ideas that call to us, people who comfort us, dreams that shape our course. These are not always destinations we choose. They are often directions whispered by deeper layers of our mind, influences we feel without fully understanding. You too move through life with a kind of quiet flow. Decisions arise, paths unfold. Sometimes you sense a direction before you know its meaning. In this sense, you mirror the universe itself, drifting gently toward horizons that reveal themselves only with time. As you exhale, let the notion of a cosmic destination soothe you. It does not matter whether the destination is real or metaphorical. What matters is the feeling it evokes, that motion has continuity, that journeys have arcs, that life unfolds along soft gradients of possibility. The universe may have no final point of arrival, but it has direction. So do galaxies. So do you. Tonight, allow yourself to drift toward your own quiet horizon, unhurried, unpressured, carried by the natural flow of your being. When we talk about dark flow, galaxies drifting across billions of light years, the scale is so immense that it can feel far removed from human life, and yet there is a quiet connection between the motion of the cosmos and the motion within our own lives. We too move through currents we cannot always see. We too are shaped by influences older than memory. We too drift gently toward horizons that unfold slowly, one quiet moment at a time. As you breathe softly, imagine yourself as a small point of light suspended in a vast night sky. Around you, galaxies glide in their slow, ancient dance. Their movement is subtle, almost imperceptible, yet shared across unimaginable distances. In a similar way, your life unfolds through subtle currents, habits learned long ago, feelings passed down through generations, instincts shaped by experience. These currents guide you more gently than any conscious decision. Just as galaxies respond to the shape of space-time beneath them, humans respond to the emotional and psychological landscapes within. We don't always see these landscapes clearly, but they exist. Memories that soften our choices, relationships that tilt our direction, dreams that pull our attention. Some influences drift into our lives quietly, like distant gravity. Others emerge quickly, like a sudden star. But all shape the flow of our journey. Let your breath deepen as you reflect on these parallels. Galaxies do not know they are moving. They simply follow the contours of the universe. Likewise, we rarely notice the moments that steer us. The small kindness, the unexpected worry, the gentle reassurance, the word that lingers longer than expected. These are gravitational whispers in human form, guiding us subtly through our days. Dark flow reminds us that not all movement is chosen. Some movement simply is, and there is comfort in accepting that. You are carried by currents as old as the cosmos, biological rhythms, cultural stories, childhood impressions, hopes that rise without bidding. The flow does not erase your agency, it simply provides context, showing that life is shaped by a tapestry of forces, some seen and some unseen. As you exhale, imagine lying beneath the drifting galaxies. Their motion is quiet, patient, unhurried. Your life has its own pace, its own slow arcs of change. Sometimes you move with clarity, other times you drift without direction. Both are natural. Both are part of being alive. You're not separate from the universe. You're a continuation of it, made of its atoms, shaped by its forces, carried by its flowing time. The same physical laws that guide galaxies guide the cells of your body. The same cosmic history that set dark flow into motion made your existence possible. Tonight, let that connection soothe you. You're part of a universe in motion, drifting gently along with galaxies, stars, and worlds. In that motion, there is no pressure to know your destination. There is only the quiet assurance that you belong to the same cosmic rhythm. Let yourself move with it. There is a special kind of peace that emerges when we allow ourselves to live with unanswered questions, not ignoring them, not resisting them, simply letting them rest, quiet and open, like stones on the floor of a calm river. Dark flow is one of those questions. Scientists do not yet know what causes it. They cannot say for certain whether it is a relic of the early universe, a pull from beyond our cosmic horizon, or an illusion created by patterns too subtle to untangle. Yet the mystery itself holds a calming presence. As you breathe slowly, imagine the sky on a clear night. Some stars are bright and easy to understand, like questions whose answers feel close at hand. Others are faint, shimmering at the limits of your vision. You recognize their presence without needing to know their names or distances. They are simply there, enriching the quiet without demanding clarity. Dark flow belongs to this softer category of mystery, a gentle reminder that the universe does not owe us full disclosure. Let your breath deepen as you feel the comfort in that idea. Not knowing everything does not diminish the beauty of the cosmos, it enhances it. Mystery creates space for imagination, for wonder, for humility. If the universe revealed all its secrets at once, the night sky would lose some of its tenderness. Instead, it reveals its truths slowly, offering glimpses, hints, and patterns that unfold over generations. The unanswered nature of dark flow mirrors the unanswered questions within ourselves. We do not always understand why we feel certain things, or why certain memories linger, or why certain paths call to us. But that lack of clarity does not make our experiences less meaningful. Sometimes understanding arrives only after many years. Other times it never arrives at all. And still, life continues to flow gently, beautifully. Scientists continue to explore dark flow with patience, knowing that uncertainty is not a failure, but a natural stage of discovery. Likewise, we can approach our own uncertainties with the same patience. We can sit with the unknown without anxiety, trusting that clarity comes in its own time. And even if it never arrives, the questions themselves can be peaceful companions. As you exhale, imagine your unanswered questions resting quietly beside you, like soft lanterns glowing in the dark. They don't press for resolution. They don't demand explanation. They illuminate the night with their presence alone. Dark flow invites us to see that wonder does not depend on certainty. It thrives in open spaces, in gentle curiosity, in the quiet willingness to let the universe remain larger than our understanding. Tonight, let your questions drift without urgency. Let them float with the stars, patient, soft, unresolved, and beautifully alive. In the quiet expanse of the universe, motion becomes a kind of poetry. Galaxies glide through darkness not with urgency, but with grace, slow arcs traced across billions of years, each movement subtle as a whisper. Dark flow, whatever its origin, invites us to see this cosmic ballet not as a scientific puzzle alone, but as an expression of beauty woven into the fabric of existence. Where human eyes see darkness, the universe writes verses in motion. As you inhale gently, imagine drifting through intergalactic space. There is no wind, no sound, no horizon, only a soft darkness stretching in every direction. Within it, stars shimmer like distant embers, each carried by currents too large to comprehend. Their motion is not frantic. It is patient, rhythmic, almost meditative. The galaxies move as though reciting a poem written in silent stanzas, each line spanning millions of years. Dark flow becomes one of these stanzas, a line of motion carried across unimaginable scales. It is faint, persistent, and strangely elegant. Not a command, not a forceful pull, but a subtle cadence guiding clusters of galaxies toward a shared direction. In its presence, the cosmos feels less like a machine and more like a living tapestry, flowing and responding with soft continuity. Let your breath deepen as you imagine these cosmic movements as brushstrokes across a vast canvas. Some strokes are bold, supernova explosions, galaxy collisions, the birth of stars. But others, like dark flow, are delicate strokes of shadow and light, drawn so lightly that only the most attentive observers can perceive them. These gentle strokes carry meaning just as profound as the brighter ones. In human life, too, there is poetry in subtle motion, the quiet gestures, the unspoken thoughts, the small shifts that shape who we become. We often focus on the bright events, the bold lines, the moments that blaze with clarity. But beneath these, the softer movements, the ones that unfold slowly over time, are equally important. They guide our direction with tender insistence, the way a soft current guides a drifting leaf. As you exhale, let yourself feel the kinship between your inner world and the cosmos' gentle rhythms. You're not separate from the universe. You're made of the same atoms as the stars drifting in the flow, shaped by forces as quiet and mysterious as dark flow itself. Your thoughts move, your feelings shift, your life unfolds with a softness that mirrors the galaxies drifting through the night. There is poetry in the way everything moves, galaxies, rivers, clouds, breath, and within that poetry lies comfort. Nothing is still for long, yet nothing rushes. The universe teaches us that motion can be serene, patient, and endlessly expressive. Tonight, let the poetry of cosmic motion flow through you. Let your thoughts drift like galaxies, carried by gentle currents through a darkness that is not empty, but filled with possibility. From the moment it came into being, the universe has been expanding, stretching outward like a long, slow breath, released across billions of years. Astronomers often describe this expansion mathematically, but in quieter moments, it feels more poetic to imagine the cosmos as a great exhale. Every galaxy drifting through space, every cluster sliding along the soft contours of dark flow, becomes part of that single, continuous breath. As you inhale gently, imagine the universe's beginning as a point of infinite density, a place where all the matter, light, and potential of existence was compressed into something smaller than a grain of sand. Then, in a moment of indescribable transformation, space unfolded. It didn't explode outward like shrapnel from a blast. Instead, it expanded, evenly and softly, filling itself with room to grow. This expansion continues today, quiet and persistent, like the steady release of tension from a long-held breath. Dark flow can be seen as part of this larger exhalation. While most of the universe expands uniformly in all directions, the faint drift of galaxy clusters in a shared direction may represent a subtle variation, a quiet undertone in the cosmic breath. It doesn't disrupt the harmony of expansion, it enriches it, adding a gentle complexity to the universe's unfolding motion. Let your breath settle into a calm rhythm as you imagine this great exhale passing through you. You are part of it. Every atom of your body originated in that early expansion. The calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the oxygen in your lungs were all once moments of that cosmic breath. When you inhale, you are taking in atoms that have drifted through space for billions of years. When you exhale, you release them back into the world, letting them continue their journey. There is a profound serenity in recognizing this connection. You're not merely observing the universe, you are participating in its breathing. Your own breaths mirror the rhythm of cosmic expansion, the gentle inflow and outflow, the letting go, the soft arrival. Dark flow becomes another layer of this rhythm, a subtle directional nuance in the universe's ongoing motion. Some scientists suggest that the flow might reflect earlier symmetries in the universe, tiny imperfections in the initial exhale. Others imagine that the drift may be influenced by structures beyond our cosmic horizon. But you don't need to solve these mysteries tonight. You can simply rest in the knowledge that everything moves with a natural cadence, and that cadence includes you. As you exhale, imagine releasing tension the way the universe released its early energy, gradually, softly, without force. Let your body empty itself of effort, the way the cosmos expands without strain. Tonight, breathe with the universe. Let its ancient exhale guide you towards stillness. Everything expands. Everything moves. Everything softens into space. When we began this journey, we asked a quiet question. What does it mean for the universe to move towards something unknown? After drifting through ancient light, hidden structures, cosmic weather, and the poetry of motion, we return now to that question, not for an answer, but for a deeper feeling of what it evokes. As you inhale softly, imagine once more the galaxies gliding across billions of years, carried by a gentle current whose source remains unseen. At the beginning of this exploration, that mystery may have felt vast or even overwhelming. But now, after resting with it, letting it slow your thoughts and soften your breath, the mystery feels different. It feels calmer, familiar, almost intimate, like a quiet presence that has been beside you all along. Dark flow does not insist on being solved. It invites contemplation. The galaxies drifting toward that distant region of the sky do not know why they move. They simply follow the contours of space-time, the echoes of ancient imprints, or perhaps the tug of something beyond their reach. And in that simple, patient motion, they reveal something we often forget. Movement does not require clarity. It only requires openness to the path ahead. Let your breath deepen as you reflect on this. You too move through life without always understanding what guides you. Some choices arise from early memories, some from intuition, some from forces too subtle to name. The gravitational pull of relationships, the soft pressure of hope, the gentle drift of emotion. You may not always know what draws you, but your path unfolds just the same. Returning to the first question, we find not a solution, but a parallel. The universe moves towards something unknown, and so do we. The unknown is not a void, it is a horizon, a soft edge where possibility lives. Galaxies drift toward their horizon without fear. You can drift toward yours with the same quiet trust. As you exhale, imagine the cosmos around you, not as a chaotic expanse, but as a vast, serene ocean. Every cluster, every star, every particle flows with purpose, even when the purpose is hidden. The universe breathes, the universe remembers, the universe drifts, and you, resting here, are part of that same gentle motion. The first question remains open, but its tone has changed. It no longer asks for explanation. It asks for presence, for stillness, for acceptance that some mysteries are meant to cradle us rather than be solved. Tonight, let that question become a soft place for your thoughts to rest. You do not need to know where the universe is going. You only need to feel the peace of drifting within it. As we reach the end of this quiet journey, imagine the universe around you settling into its own slow rhythm. Galaxies continue their gentle drift. Ancient light still hums softly across the sky. The hidden currents of dark flow persist, guiding clusters in a motion so patient that even eternity must pause to listen. In this vast, unfolding calm, there is a place for you, a small, luminous point drifting peacefully within the cosmic sea. As you inhale softly, picture yourself floating alongside those galaxies. There is no urgency, no destination to chase. The universe is not in a hurry, and neither are you. Every motion tonight is slow, like a long exhale. The expansion of space, the drift of clusters, the quiet beating of your own heart, all part of the same gentle rhythm, flowing through the darkness with effortless grace. You have travelled far in this meditation, from the first spark of curiosity to the subtle textures of space-time, from the whisper of gravity beyond the horizon to the poetry of motion through the void. And now, as you drift toward rest, all those ideas soften into background stars, distant, calming, familiar. The mystery that once felt vast now feels like a companion, settling beside you like a warm shadow. Let your breath deepen one last time as you imagine the universe as a great soothing lullaby. Each galaxy is a note, each cluster a chord, each quiet drift a gentle refrain. Together they form a cosmic music that plays softly beneath consciousness, the sound of existence itself flowing onward. Dark flow becomes part of that lullaby, a barely audible harmony carrying everything toward a horizon that glows faintly with possibility. And as your body grows heavier, your thoughts grow lighter. You begin to drift just as the galaxies drift. Thoughts loosen like stars dissolving at dawn. Muscles relax, the mind softens. Sleep rises around you like a quiet tide, warm and slow, filling every corner of your awareness. In these last moments of wakefulness, you are perfectly aligned with the cosmos, moving without effort, resting without resistance, floating in the embrace of something timeless. You don't need to understand the drift. You only need to feel its calm, the way it steadies your breath, the way it eases your mind, the way it invites you into deep and soothing rest. Now, let go. Let the universe carry you. Let the stars dim into stillness. Let the gentle, unhurried flow guide you inward into dreams shaped by the quiet grandeur of the cosmos. Everything flows. Sleep in that motion.